derived from an innovation program that we were running between 2010 and 2015 as a part of the gaming suite, where we just try to bring in new innovations into railway operation. One of the things that we do is monitor the railway tracks every day. Not all of it, but some of the trains are equipped with photo cameras in the front and in the back, and they will film the railway network from one side, either from the front or from the back. So you have really a lot of photos, and these photos could be combined. That was the idea, to have a 3D real-world model. Now, does it work? So we made some experiments, just capturing the photos. This was a rig with 2 cameras side by side, and you get a real 3D model. And Blender, in combination with, what is the word? MeshLab, was used for editing and modeling these images. With that, we envisaged to have simulation for train drivers. You can put them in a simulator, and you can monitor driver behavior, where you look at their eye tracking, and you can have a stress meter to see if they have a tedious job or if it's really easy. And one of the things that we envisaged was placement of new signals. And one of the things that we observed, or observed what we saw, was that in professional software or licensed software, or how do you say it? This is a private company in the UK where they have a different setup for their railway organization, for what they have, what they use, and what their legislation is. And they have developed, how do you say it, tool map with a lot of simulation and a lot of 3D work. So essentially, it is a lot of magic and a lot of virtual reality and augmented reality, where you can have a custom-made or a commercial tool, where a lot of the things that I have seen and I have envisaged for use can also be done with Blender in a way that is equal or similar or better than what commercial parties are using. So getting back to the presentation. So we wanted to use Blender for experiments and how to proceed with that. So one of the things that is relevant is that if you are taking shots, you need to know where your shots are and where you are at the moment that you're taking your shots. So the train has a GPS locator, and the wheels are equipped with, it's called an odometer, that is measuring displacement along the rails. We have tracking within Blender, and this is the geographical position where a camera shot is taken. So we threw it into Blender, and then we get a 3D model. This is one of the first trials. I'll show a better model later. And we got a lot of films from that. This is side by side, driving through a model. So where we just created the model and work with it as far as we could, where it has been augmented just with Google Maps footage. This is side by side. Since we had 3D models and we had a lot of footage, we also tried to experiment with object recognition and match that with our databases of existing objects. And we did work with Delft University on the object recognition. Where you can see the software recognizing signals. This is an example of just raw footage data. And other applications that we have are just normal simulations of virtual reality and augmented reality, where this is meant for training train drivers, which has been set up in various game engines like Unreal or Unity. What you typically see is that the quality of the design is not so accurate, because at the moment you try to design a new infrastructure, you want to share it with your with the community as fast as possible to see if there is acceptance, or if there is object or people will object to the route that you're choosing, or if there is anything else that you've overlooked that will make it impossible for them to accept a chosen solution. So what you also try to do with software and programs is what also applies to infrastructure, just to make a quick model and see if it is okay or not. And one of the things that we worked with was and this was early, I think 2010 or 2011, where we used SketchUp, where you can see the progress in a project, where we started with a real quick model. and then later brought in more detail. And here you can also see houses in the background where the environment has been modeled as well. And it's applicable not only to railroad infrastructure, but also a lot of other government agencies use animations and what have you to inform their environment. And this is the final film I would like to show. It started off my own interest in all of this, where you have a car cockpit with a TomTom and you're driving through the environment at the same time, where I thought you can do this with this way, and you can also do this with Blender.
Op de rotonde Dierensestraat Regisseur, neem de tweede afslag.
I'll do it in a minute. Okay, that was what I wanted to show. Are there comments or questions?
Okay, so
it's also an option.
I'll repeat for the mic. So the question is, because railways are very modular pieces, one piece of rail track, you can copy it over. So why are you scanning all the railways separate and using that instead of just reusing smaller assets?
I don't really know. We did not really think about it. Most of the time, any element is attached to something in the real world, where you have bridges and canals and what have you not. And you just don't have the models for all of that. So all these elements are attached to real world. Real world changes every meter. So just follow the camera and then take it from there. But it's also an option if you know where you are and you have models, you can construct it from atomic elements.
Okay, so yeah, thank you.